Hey everyone, welcome to the show. First of all, real quick, I want to thank everyone that downloaded, streamed, subscribed, whatever you did, however you did it, wherever you did it. It's appreciated. And if this is your first time listening to us, I want to give you a quick lowdown on where to go and head to bodysnatchers.com. That's bodysnatchers.com and sign up for the newsletter. That's going to keep you updated on everything we do, including forums, personal articles, news, and of course all of our social media outlets. So it's a great place to go if you need to find us. So we're always there. So how are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Great.
Pretty good, man. I'm pretty good.
Tino, you need a hug. And if I could, I would just go over there and hug you.
I'll fucking kill
Virtual
you one of
hug.
these days.
I'll send him a
X's and
virtual hug
O's.
later.
Mm-hmm.
An e-hug, as we call it in the business.
Shut your ass up.
Right?
Fuck you, Gia. So first and foremost, John, you got some news?
Oh yeah. Speaking of what you were talking about earlier, as far as the everybody downloading, which again we appreciate it. We hit over 2,000 listens in a month, so we are definitely moving up
What sort of
pretty
clap
quickly.
is that?
Moving on up to the east side, moving on up.
Oh man, we totally should have had that song queued up. But anyway, thanks Gia for the vocals.
You're welcome.
So yeah, thanks again everybody for listening in and checking us out. We really appreciate it. Next up on news, something I'm excited about, which I don't know how you guys feel on it, but I think you've heard about it too. Fooly Cooley is getting another 2 seasons.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
They didn't say exactly how they were going to break the seasons up, if we were going to get, a decent amount of episodes, or if they were going to kind of be long-winded like the first season, I believe. But I'm excited. I definitely hope they stick to the art style and just the type of storytelling. I don't necessarily need to see the original characters outside of maybe like one or two people, but I'm definitely excited. How about you guys? How do you feel about this?
I mean, I'm pretty excited because FLCL was like a fucking staple of my childhood. And
Yeah.
for as awkward and ridiculous as it is, that and like XL Saga, they were just like very important pieces of just my anime past. And I read the manga for FLCL as well, so I mean I'm pretty stoked. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that they have like decent amounts of episodes per season, like maybe 11 to 13.
Yeah.
But if they have longer episodes but a shorter amount, that would work for me too.
I just mean like don't give us 3 episodes and
Yeah, that
like,
does
oh,
not.
yeah, that's your
no.
season.
It does not get my dick
Like-
hard when you come out with a new season and it's only 4 episodes, like 7 Deadly Sins. That was terrible.
Oh god. Yeah, so like I can
Trash.
see if they said it's gonna be an OVA having like 3 or 4. So like for instance with the Golden Age series for Berserk that they did, it was an OVA, so they were like an hour and a half to an hour and 45-minute long per episode, and there was only 3 episodes. But that made a lot of sense because they were like movies.
That's a
essentially,
movie,
for each
yeah.
episode. So if they did it like that, then I could be like, all right, I can accept this. But if they were just like, I don't know, 3 episodes that's 45 minutes each, I might be mad.
Yeah. And this is coming to if I remember correctly, is it a Cartoon Network or Adult Swim?
Adult Swim.
Adult Swim. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe they will do like short, episodes to kind of draw it out a little bit. But I think most of us, especially in this day and age, are probably just gonna wait to binge watch it anyway. So, but either way, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Next up, which I thought was kind of funny, Facebook is trying to do a whole virtual reality thing. I don't know, what do you guys think? Gimmick, or do you kind of think this may change how you Facebook? I think we all spend enough time on Facebook as is. This probably really isn't.
Anything that
Yeah.
has to do with virtual reality now, it's progressing so quick lately. I dig it. I mean, if you can sit in a room, put on your glasses, and now the avatars are moving. They got like facial recognition. I saw if
Yeah.
we're talking about the same video.
Yeah.
And you can transport into different places, and you're with like 3 or 4 people. I think that's pretty cool. It's a lot better than just looking at a Facebook screen and correcting Gia's grammar errors.
My grammar errors? You mean your grammar errors? Can we
Your
talk about
grammar
this?
errors.
You mean like the 1 out of 100 posts, whereas you have one every post?
No, I've seen more than that, but I'm not trying to put you on blast.
No,
but
you're
I
a damn
will.
liar.
I will if I have to.
You illiterate fuck.
Yeah,
What do you
so
think, Tino? You
personally,
think?
I
Oh my God.
honestly I probably won't use it. I don't even really use it on like the games that are out with VR right now. It seems like
Yeah.
it's interesting, but I'm looking for more of like a Ready Player One type feel with virtual reality, I guess.
Is it
So
because
once they
it's
get to that
the
point
price?
with it, where you, like they have the tactile suits where you can kind of feel what's happening in the VR realm and all the gameplay like that, then I'll be interested in it. I think right now it doesn't appeal to me primarily because
So,
I have astigmatism.
you're trying to get
in
laid
both
long
eyes,
distance?
so like it just makes me tired really fast and it hurts my eyes, and I'm good.
I heard that,
Okay.
Tino. But no,
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree with you. And the thing is, I've seen all of these different technologies. It's just going to take that one person to kind of bring it all together and make it affordable. Because I've seen the tactile, I've seen the body suits where you feel directional hits. Um, Obviously, we've seen the VR, we've seen the kind of like the more in depth uh, Omni whatever. I forgot what it was, Omnitrix or whatever.
Yeah, the
Uh,
little treadmill one.
yeah, the treadmill thing. Like we've seen all of this. It's gonna take a while for somebody to just kind of bring it all together and be like, hey, here's this awesome package that you can put in your living room.
And they're gonna make a killing.
Oh yeah, I believe so. So we'll kind of stay, I guess, up to date on that. What about you, Tino? Like, you think this
I
could
mean,
help
on a
progress?
personal level, like, I'm not really excited about it or anything. I mean, I'm not even excited about current VR stuff. I'd rather just sit back and wait for it to become something useful if we live that long.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will.
Eventually, yeah. I mean, like, I'm more so interested in waiting to sit back and see what all the creeps get into. There's probably going to be some interesting shit. Middle-aged people are going to love that. Middle-aged people don't have shit to do. Like, I can't tell you how many of like, my friends' moms when I was younger would be, like, low-key closet winos and, like, just get on, like, all those weird Facebook games and, like, you would just see, like, other creepy dudes hitting on them and vice versa. And I'm like, what type of wild shit? So I can only imagine what's going to go down in VR once it gets to the point to where, like, it's just normal to have it in your household like a computer, but that's not what this is going to be. It's a step in that direction.
You think
but,
we're gonna revert back to How to Catch a Predator just in VR mode? You'll see a little
Good Lord.
avatar of Chris Hansen in a card game, virtual card game room.
Yeah, basically. I mean, because like I remember when we were kids, chat rooms were like a really big thing. With cybering and all that other bullshit.
I actually
But,
missed that kind of because I did a lot of the role playing stuff and it helped a lot with my writing. But now it's not there.
I mean, in the
I can
context
actually
that
agree
Tino
with that.
was talking about, though.
Creep.
But I was probably looking at it from a more perverted standpoint.
Yeah, you're
But-
looking at it from the creepy route. I was looking at it from the I actually missed that route.
Well, you know
Mine
what
is
I
the
will say
creepiness.
about VR is the horror genre. It's gonna be big in VR. I was looking at this game the other day where you're supposed to walk out and go into your neighbor's house. And I seen a video for this. It was real quick. And you're supposed to find these clues in his house. He was looking for something, but your
What the
neighbor's
hell's the name of that game?
your neighbor's a killer, so he can't find you. So you can hide in the closets or you can avoid him in the house. But the thing is, the longer you're in the house, the more he learns. So if you're upstairs and you're making a lot of noise and you're banging dressers and stuff, he's gonna be like, what the fuck is that up there? I know I heard something. And then he's gonna look under the bed and in the closet. But if you're quiet, he won't think nothing of it. And you're supposed to get out and go back to your house and call the police, pretty much. And I think in a VR aspect, that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
I've played some
Well,
really good horror VRs myself, but what are we gonna do when the first person gets in there and fucking has a heart attack and dies because like they were so fucking scared?
That fat fuck was probably gonna have a heart attack anyways.
I mean,
Dude,
that's
look how
probably
sensitive
just
people
gonna
are in
be like,
2017.
I
It's gonna be way worse.
I
as
don't
that shit
know. I
progresses.
think they would have to make it really, really, really good for it to be a good horror game on VR, to be fair. Because most horror games have kind of been trash lately. Like, I haven't played one that's actually scared me in a long time.
Maybe
yeah.
you're just
I
so
mean, I
tough.
don't really see an issue from that though, because there's games out now that could cause the same issue, like
Yeah.
versus heart attacks or epileptic seizures and shit like that. Like, you play at your own risk. So if you die from it, it's probably only gonna bump up sales because people are
Well,
gonna be
nobody
like, "Holy
cares. Yeah, I
shit,
mean,
this
if it
game is good."
produces money, I mean, it's going to be out there regardless. But I'm just saying, we're going to see a lot of fucking protest videos and all that bullshit that comes with it.
Oh god.
Maybe
Yeah,
even
we'll see.
ironically in VR. Like,
Man,
don't
I
know.
feel like we're just gonna live through like the early 2000s again, where people are out protesting like video games and shit make you violent
Dude,
and
everybody's soft. I just
fucking
like to stay inside
creepers and
now.
shit. Yeah. But anyway, um, and then live action Bleach was kind of the last thing I had on my list. The trailer looked decent, but
They always look
I'm
decent
always a
because our
little
hopes get high, but it's going to suck.
yeah.
Why
They all
why
suck.
I mean,
why isn't the live action ever successful?
Rurouni Kenshin was successful.
I feel like
Yeah, but his anime
because-
wasn't super flashy either. Like, I think this is too much for them to tackle.
Well, I
We've yet
feel
to see
I feel like
an
Attack on
anime where they have,
Titan
like, a
should have
lot of
translated
powers,
well.
like, dude, I
No,
don't know.
Attack on Titan
Retsu
was-
and all that. Oh, yeah, we're not talking about that. Let that go.
Isn't it a case that the original studios and writers usually don't have a say in what's produced for the live action, or am I missing something?
I think it's low budgets, personally.
Yeah. It's
Well,
it's
that's
just
the
all
feel
around
that I always
trash.
get.
Because we've seen really awesome unrelated movies that like look dope with effects, but you need that type of crazy budget, you know what I mean, to be
So they-
implemented to make it believable. Like
They need a Michael
manga.
Bay budget without a Michael Bay producer
Basically,
or
yeah.
director.
Because you can't solely blame the director. I mean, a lot of times, they're limited by the budget.
Yeah.
Although I don't know where to begin with Dragon Ball. We're not going to get into it. I'm just
God.
saying.
That's terrible.
But everything felt really cheesy. Like, it felt like somebody, actually not even felt like, people have used green screens and made better movies that
Oh, yeah.
looked more
even
believable
just,
from
YouTube
just
shorts.
special effects alone. And that you got to figure that's a budget, best case scenario, maybe at like 10 or 15,000.
Because they actually cared about the product, I believe, as well. Sometimes I feel like some of these live action adaptations, they don't.
And I
Slap it on and get a
about
quick
the-
buck.
I agree with John.
Yeah.
What was that live action Dragon Ball Z one where it played Trunks and Cell?
Oh,
Oh,
that
God.
that random ass dude made.
Yeah.
They had Trunks and I think Android 17.
It was 17 and
Oh,
18.
that one.
It was in Gohan. It was pretty good. I liked it.
It looked
that was
really
legit.
good. Like, it didn't look like, I still feel it could have been better, but it looked better than anything I've seen in a trailer thus far.
Oh, yeah. But when you're, a regular guy with a budget of, probably a couple $1,000s, that came out a lot better than the bullshit movie.
Did they make any more of those?
went
Because
to
the last
theaters.
one I watched was he went back in time and you see Goku eating, and that was it.
There was one where somebody, I seen one with Piccolo that looked really good. I think it was Piccolo and Android 17,
Maybe.
but that's
I gotta
like
look for that.
the only other one I can think of.
All
That
right.
might have been
Yeah.
from the same creators.
Anything else for news?
No, that's it for now. I'll try to keep my eye out for more stories and whatnot
Not bad. Not
in the
bad.
geek world.
All right. Let's move on to the main attraction, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Hey.
Now, we all seen this movie really quick. I didn't expect it to be so fucking long. That's the first time I had to leave the theater to piss like an old man.
Really?
Oh, I
You thought
fought.
it was long?
It was fucking.
It was 2.5 hours. That's pretty long.
It didn't feel like it though.
It didn't
which
feel like
I-
it was long.
Which
It doesn't.
I
feel
will
like
give
it.
them credit for.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave. It was pretty entertaining, especially at the beginning where they go through Civil War.
I love that, like how it transitioned.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well, John
Yeah,
Favreau
right,
was
right.
time.
funny.
Navigating his fucking time through it.
Yeah, like
Logging
an
it.
like an eager teenager.
That was perfect. No, it fit his character, so I'm really glad how they did that. It's like we already knew where he showed up and what he did, but just kind of seeing that little behind the scene viewpoint from him was kind of cool. So
Yeah,
I'm
that
definitely glad they did that.
exchange with Happy Hogan and Spider-Man, it set the tone for the whole movie. Like, it put you in a good mood, and then they're like, all right, here's the movie.
Yeah. Kudos to them for good opening scenes. But Yeah, I mean, we can sit here for the next 15, 20 minutes kind of praising this movie. At least for me, from a more casual viewpoint, I really enjoyed it and I like what they did. I'm not so sure about Tino and Virgie, though, because I know you guys are always more in depth with a lot of these storylines. But
Oh no, I
Yeah,
absolutely loved it, and I love how they went away from the MJ and the Gwen Stacy's to make a good, movie instead of focusing on a like
Shoving a shitty love
a
story down our
love
throats.
story,
yeah.
yeah.
And like to be
Yeah.
fair, they still had a love story in it, but it tied in really well. Like to be completely, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I didn't know that she was gonna be tied to the villain at all until it fucking happened. And I'm usually really good about guesstimating things that are gonna happen in the movie. So when
Yeah,
that happened, my mind was blown. I was like,
that
okay.
was pretty impressive.
Right? Like, oh, okay.
That was pretty impressive. Yeah, they didn't let the love story overpower the movie because there were certain times when like I was like, no, don't you fucking like the party, for instance. Obviously, he has a major crush on this chick, and when he had the choice of leaving to go, fight Falcon versus or Vulture. Why did I say Falcon? Sorry. Uh, Fight Vulture or stay at the party. Like he
It's
chose to
racist.
fight, and I was like, that made me happy because I was like, don't you fucking stay at this party and do some dumb shit. Like this is not what the movie. This is not why I came here. I came to see.
Well, he did it twice. He did it actually at the homecoming too.
Yeah. So that's that. It was like, I kind of feel bad, but I'm definitely glad they kept with the story, and he was definitely more,
not
an
only that, it
honorable.
was pretty great storytelling. I like how everything he did is what you would expect from a brand new Spider-Man. Like if you had those powers and they're still, what were they? They were at this point they were 8 months, right? 8 or 9 months. He's had the powers.
Yeah, I don't even
No,
think
it
it
was
had been a year yet.
it was a little bit longer than that.
But the way he web slings, the way he fights, it's all seems pretty new to him. He's not so slick.
Well, yeah, okay, so with it, like he had been practicing a little bit up until then, but he hadn't really gone out crime fighting before, I
Yeah.
guess, what they proposed before the whole Avengers thing. So, yeah, he was still kind of learning a lot about his limits. Because to be 100% fair, something that irritated me throughout the whole movie that I was glad that they finally went back and revisited it toward the end. Spider-Man is capable of lifting up to 60 tons, like just flat out. And then once he gets his power boost, it's a whole lot more than that. So a lot of times when
Yeah.
he was struggling to lift shit, I was like, what
20
the?
tons. I'm sorry.
Oh, hell
Gotta be petty.
no. But, at the end when they finally went back and they had him like reach into himself and then pull out that bit of, inner strength he had, I was finally happy. Because that was the only thing I complained about the whole movie was
Yeah.
he's strong. Why is this, a struggle for him?
Was
Why
it
is he
20
having
tons or
issues?
60 tons?
It's
It's 60
20
tons.
tons.
Oh shit.
No, I think like currently now in the reboot they did, it's 60 tons.
We having a great debate tonight
We could.
because it's
Well,
fucking
well,
20.
Either way, that's fucking
But she's right. He did
impressive
get a
weight.
power boost that actually brought him to the 100-ton level at one point. I think when he was what the hell was it, Cosmic Spider-Man or whatever, and then it reset back to 20 afterwards, which was kind of sad. Along with a bunch of other cool shit. But that's irrelevant from this. I agree with Virgie. I really liked the fact that he was developing and everything, but like more specifically, there was a bunch of little shit like when he's talking to Tony and he says something like "I'm nothing without the suit," and Tony's like, "Well, if that's the case, then get the fuck out of here," basically.
Yeah.
I like was in the comics like almost any rendition of Peter Parker, he's a fucking genius. Like he's on the same level as like all the high level people I can think of from Marvel, to name a few. Virgie,
I'm sorry, say again.
you motherfucker, you motherfucker. His mind
Audio
like, on par
podcast,
with,
by
like,
the way.
Mr. Doom, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, he's got the same intelligence as those individuals. Yes.
And I like that they show you that he's really fucking smart, but that even in school and stuff, he's not even really applying himself like to the debate teams and stuff. You see how he's casually kind of half-assing it, but like with little effort is at the top of the roster for everything.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like they're poking at like the fact that like that genius capability is there, but he's just not using his senses. Like
Right.
for instance, with him relying on that fancy AI suit that I think he named Karen. you know, throughout the whole movie. Well, the first half of the movie, I should say.
Yeah.
But it's going to show like, or it leaves the potential for not only his ability to grow as, you know, a fighter and a superhero, but also, you know, as his intellect is going to grow and he's going to, you know, become wittier and figure shit out. You know, they show scenes with him trying to figure out how to make more webbing fluid and stuff like that, which it looks like he had, you know, done successfully. And, you know, down the line, he's going to modify the web shooters, make his own fucking costume and just all that cool stuff. So that looks cool. What bugged me, but not too much, about the movie was that they didn't give him his spider sense right away.
Oh,
so
I was mad.
That's a big deal. So hopefully they add that
is.
in, or it develops, or maybe it's there and he doesn't know that it's there. I don't know how they're going to spin it, but they can't just avoid it. I would think. What do you
Yeah, I
guys
was
think?
waiting on you to stop talking because I was totally about to say something about that. I definitely didn't get the sense that his spidey senses were trained yet, but I think that's something that he's going to acquire.
Tap into.
Yeah, it's, you know, as he learns more about his powers and what he can do and his strengths, then he definitely will. But right now, he's still, you know, he's still a teenager in high school. He has a lot of shit to think about, and you know, he's headstrong about fighting and you know, being in the heart of battle without even really knowing what he's capable of. So that's something that I hope they bring more to the forefront. You know, if he continues his franchise, so which I'm hoping for, but we'll see.
So I got a
Cap
question.
trains him in the comics. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I got a question down here for the comic book people. Donald Glover played Aaron Davis. Is that relation to Miles Davis?
Ooh,
Miles Davis?
Or is that Miles?
Did you mean Miles
I think
Morales?
it's Miles Davis.
It's
Yeah, I think-
I read something that that he was supposed to be from that universe, his character.
Oh, Miles Morales.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yeah, I
what I
think
was
that's
just
what you're
saying.
talking about.
You dick.
Yeah, I was just like, who the fuck is Miles Davis?
I think my computer turned into
An
Aaron
R&B
Davis.
singer.
So yeah, he was a burglar in the Miles Morales universe. But I think he was also, I want to say he was mentioned or had a part in the Peter Parker realm too.
Mm.
Prowler.
Is that what he was?
That's who he's going to be playing.
Oh,
Who? Donald?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Because I thought they just brought him in to kind of be. See, I didn't know that because I obviously don't read the comics, but I thought they were just bringing him in as kind of like a haha. Because you remember that whole thing about Donald for Spider-Man was going on. I thought they were just kind of bringing him in like, oh well, he's in the movie, but he's obviously not.
You know,
Spider-Man.
it's just doing like a cameo. No, they're
Yeah.
From what I remember reading, I believe that they set him up to be doing Night Prowler or Prowler. Why did I say Night Prowler? What the fuck is wrong with me? My bad. I'm a little tired, guys. I apologize.
I know in the comic book
It's all
realm, I
good.
want to say that he I think Miles was his nephew or something, and he blackmailed him into helping him fight someone.
he did mention a nephew.
Mm.
What from the Miles Morales comic?
Yeah.
Was that Prowler?
Well, no. Prowler was a different person in the comics, in the Miles Morales comics. But if I remember correctly, Davis goes off to Mexico and is doing something there.
It
And
was
then
Davis.
I guess they talk about Peter Parker's background and how he got bit by a spider and that's how he became Spider-Man. And then they I guess that's when dude connects Miles to getting bit by a spider and then kind of blackmails him into helping him a little bit later.
Well, yeah, that's his uncle. His uncle. God damn, I cannot remember.
Yeah, I mean, if
it
he's
might have
Aaron
been Prowler.
Davis,
I
that's
can
who
look it
Aaron
up.
Davis was in the Miles Morales comic.
Okay, well then, if that's the case, and I'm just spacing out, then yeah. So he goes into what was it, Oscorp, and they end up getting the spider. He brings it back to his apartment. He's stealing shit at Oscorp, mind you, as what I'm assuming is Prowler, and goes back to his apartment complex. Miles, who's with his dad, leaves his dad and goes to visit his uncle. and that's when the spider bites him in the apartment.
Yep.
Miles gets sick, flips the fuck out, and passes out. His uncle calls his dad, who comes over, and he's like, "You're no good. My kid must have passed out because you're a piece of shit, you fucking crook," and all that type of shit, and pulls Miles, out of there, and Miles ends up, doing better, but obviously, ends up becoming Spider-Man because of that, and then Prowler goes back and, figures everything out, and then goes to blackmail Miles.
Yep.
Damn, yeah, it's been a while since I looked at that, but yeah, that was a good ass comic. I totally forgot that he was Prowler. Okay, well, that makes sense, and I'm tripping. I'm sorry.
Mm.
And something that I was kind of wondering if they were gonna, because they do a brief go back on how Peter got his powers, and he's like, "Oh, I got bit by a spider." And I guess my curiosity here is, are they going to introduce Oscorp? Because it didn't seem like they had any intention of it.
I think they will.
Why
They
though?
can't really avoid it. I think they were just trying to not push it down our throats because that's the mistake the first two movies did. They were just Oscorp,
Yeah.
Oscorp.
Yeah.
And because the person that I went to go watch it with made that complaint. They were like, "Well, how are people that don't know Spider-Man supposed to know how he got his powers?" I'm like, dude, everybody knows Spider-Man gets his powers from getting bit by a spider.
Exactly.
Like,
It's been done in 2 reboots. Well, two
Yeah.
different sets
It's
of
like, if you
Spider-Man
don't know
movies.
by now, then, go fuck yourself.
I mean, do I really got to sit through the same story 3 times?
Yeah. Yeah, no. If they don't know by now, then, that's whatever. Only time I want to
and
see
that's
them
why it
bring
did so well,
Oscorp.
though. It was just a breath of fresh air because they danced around
Yeah.
all the stuff that's always shoved down your throats. They didn't even push down the quote that we all love but didn't really care to hear. They avoided that completely, and I was surprised. I was expecting to hear that like 10 times over, and was like, "Oh no, okay, I'm with that. That's fine."
Yeah. Yeah, let's just keep progressing forward. If they bring back Oscorp, obviously, we'd like to see either the Hobgoblin or Green Goblin, but
So
yeah, let's
a couple
not go
things,
into the whole.
that annoyed me that didn't have anything to do with the actual storytelling of the movie itself would be like, you guys know all the shit that the movie got when they said that they wanted to play what's that girl's name, Zendaya or whatever,
Oh yeah,
the girl that they threw mud all over and made her look like they didn't actually do that, but they downplayed the shit out of it, because she's a beautiful woman. But they
no,
made
people
her look not so great in the movie because they were
went
putting all
crazy.
the light on Liz.
Yeah,
But yeah, they wanted her to play MJ, and fucking everybody, lost their shit and was, MJ's a white redheaded girl. She can't be her. So I feel like Marvel Studios, maybe, or maybe it was Disney, but I doubt it was Disney, took shots because, I mean, they made Shocker a black dude. That's not normal, if anybody caught that. And they made
what?
Shocker.
Oh yeah,
who was in the beginning.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, they had the white dude that they were calling the Shocker, and then
Or he
what's his
called
face
himself
accidentally
the
killed him, Vulture. Yeah, and then they made the black dude that, and nobody said anything. They made Flash Thompson, who's like the whitest of all white dudes.
Yeah, they made him dark as fuck.
Right?
I laughed pretty hard.
And he did a great job, don't get me wrong, but I just think it's funny that I haven't heard a single thing about it. But they gave so much shit about her.
Because people
being
freak
that.
out for no reason.
People
I
are
fucking
okay
hate
with
people.
white characters being changed into, characters of color, but not the opposite way around. It bothers the hell out of me, period, because I think that if you make a character, it should remain that way, as how the source material made it. And if you want to make a new character, just make a new character. Just don't change, because I feel personally that the way the characters are and their personalities are based on how they would have been raised as that specific background that they have, particularly. Like, you couldn't just change Steve Rogers into being a black man, because it would literally make no sense. He would not have been getting any of the treatment that he got, period, as a black man in that time frame. So it doesn't make sense. And
I mean, I can see that. I mean, like, I'm open-minded as long as you can make it flow. I mean, to me, like, for instance, like the Fantastic Four reboot, I didn't like I would not have cared had they have made Johnny and Sue, both black, but then to like go that extra mile, I'm like, okay, well, now this one's gonna be black, but this one's white, but they're still siblings. But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they were just doing too much and trying to, please too many audiences.
yeah,
that was
and the
that was
issue
just
I
too
had
much to
with that
swallow.
one was, like, you made her an adopted person into the family. Now they're not going to have that family dynamic. Like,
Yeah.
it's
it wouldn't be
different
that
now.
cookie cutter family that they're supposed to have. I mean, it does kind of make it seem a little bit less likely. But I mean, I feel like, getting off subject here, Zendaya, I think, would have been a great Mary Jane. And I love that even though it's not the same Mary Jane that it was supposed to be, that they were like, fuck it. And they called her MJ at the end of the movie, if anybody caught this. I'm sure you guys caught that. But it's not our MJ, technically, because her first name is Michelle, just to be fair.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. What did her first name end up being? I didn't even pay attention to it. Did she say what her last name was too, or she just gave her first?
I think they might have mentioned it, but I don't remember. I remember they called her Michelle a couple times and then said MJ.
Well, my argument is
if
that's not Mary Jane, then why would you do that MJ spot?
Because it's the only way they're going to get
to change it.
They can't get away with it without people flipping the fuck out, apparently. So they basically were like, "Fuck you, we're going to do it anyways." Is how I took it, and I like that. I'm actually behind that.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? They're in high school. Maybe she grows up, gets a legal name change or some shit. I don't fucking know.
See, now you're doing some extra shit.
No, I think they'll just go with the MJ thing, but leave her name the way it is.
Uh-huh.
Because I think with the reboot, they kept enough the same for it to be awesome, and they changed just enough for it to still be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I say fucking make her MJ.
Yeah, well, I'm happy they did, because I know I was super depressed when they were just like, no, it's not going to be that way. So, like, when I saw that, I was like, oh, they did it anyways. Go you.
Yeah,
go you guys. Do it.
She gets out of high school and she decides to dye her hair red. Fuck it. fuck all the
no, just keep her the way she is. Please don't do that.
Don't dye. I hope her hair doesn't get red.
I mean, she posted that photo with her hair red. She looked good.
No, well... That's behind us now, John.
I don't think they say her last name in the movie at all.
I don't think they did. That's why I'm like, maybe her name is already Jane, and she changes her first name.
Or maybe her last name starts with a J. Maybe it's Jones. Maybe her name's like Michelle Jones, so she goes by MJ.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's... Yeah. But we'll find out. I mean, like it said, Spider-Man will return, so... We'll see where it takes us.
Who else was mad by Captain America trolling the shit out of everybody at the end? I was mad as fuck.
I wanted to tell you guys so bad, but
and I
was
waited
like,
through
nah.
those credits for that mess.
Oh man, I thought it was funny. I wasn't mad. I thought it was funny because they already know everybody's gonna wait. To watch,
the gym coach Hannibal reminds me of John so much. If John was a gym teacher, that would be him. He's like, I'm pretty sure he's a war criminal now, but watch this video.
I love that he was in the movie. Off subject, dude was cold.
He played his part well.
Virgie, how did you, we never even got a chance to talk about like the fact that it's Spider-Man Homecoming and totally irrelevant from the Homecoming comic. Did you ever get a chance to read like that comic or part of it or anything? Are you familiar with it?
I actually did not. I didn't even... I'd heard about it, but I didn't get a chance to read it at all. And I had assumed that since he was in high school, they were going to tie it into a homecoming dance, so I didn't really think twice about it.
Okay, well, just to be gay, since apparently I'm getting things mixed up tonight for whatever reason, but Spider-Man Homecoming is based off that 80s comic, which I think was 84. I don't think I ever read the whole series, but I know that the first couple issues was basically about the Avengers and Spider-Man had been gone for X amount of time fighting what I think was the first Secret Wars. And Homecoming was literally about them coming home, and that was when they introduced, because Spider-Man came back in the symbiote suit for the first time.
Mm.
So okay, so I'm familiar with it. I just didn't know that was the Homecoming comic.
Right, because I know it's really popular, especially as of the name drop for the movie, like it kind of resurfaced and was floating around online. So even John and Steven probably had seen it. So if you guys were curious, that's what it is. And I think that comic is available on Marvel now, even though it's old as shit. So I mean, if you guys did want to check it out just to skim through it, that would be where to look, which is like $10 a month. I fucking love Marvel now. But go on.
Cool.
Okay. Can we talk about how good our villain was in this movie? Because I think they did a really good job
Well,
with Walter.
to do that, I'm gonna give out my rating for the movie 9.5, and my favorite part is when see Michael Keaton. His movies are old, except Beetlejuice, but that's comedic. You don't really see how good someone can like act and tell a story in a comedic form. But Michael Keaton, when he was in the cab and he started picking the pieces of Peter Parker and what he was doing and connecting the dots with Spider-Man, and then the way he sends his daughter away and he nonchalantly pulls for the gun and he turns and talks to him. And he talks to him smooth. He's not intimidated by him. He's just trying to get the message across. He's like, look, I'm just, he's one of those villains like Heath Ledger to where you can tell where he's coming from. He's trying to feed his family. He's been given a shit hand and he's doing what he has to. So the way he's talking,
kind of found it funny. Sorry, go ahead.
The way he's talking to him, it's like, look, I don't want to threaten you. I don't want to fight you. I just want to do my thing and you do your thing over there. But here's what's going to happen if you don't. And I thought that was phenomenal.
His family did because his very beautiful African American wife was thick as fuck. But I'm sorry, go on.
Thickness.
Well, she was.
She was eating good. I mean,
she was.
Yeah, she was.
So
she wasn't missing on meals.
My rating for it was a 9. But to add on to the Michael Keaton thing, what made it even better as a villain was that towards the end, after he's in jail and that dude walks up on him and is like, "Oh, I hear that you might know who this guy is." He's like, even though he was like, "I'll kill you and everybody you know," like he kind of understood where he came from, and I guess he was also like, "Well, you also saved my life," and he didn't divulge that information. So I was like, at the end of the day, you can still tell the dude is still a generally good dude.
Right.
Like, he was doing some fucked up things, but he was literally only doing it to try to keep his family comfortable.
On that note, that scene that you're referring to, did anybody else catch the dude I believe he had like a scorpion tattoo? And they were
I saw
Scorpion?
that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure.
I would have liked a buffer dude, a scorpion, but that'll do.
Well, in the
I
comics,
think we got
he had that suit or whatever that like enhanced him, at least the first time. After that, I think he stayed like just extra swole, but
yeah.
And it wasn't like that dude in prison looked weak anyways, but go on.
Yeah.
No. I forgot what I was about to ask, but I don't know, who do you guys think, or who would you guys like to see next in the next movie, as far as villains are concerned?
I mean, I personally would want to see Carnage. Like, I've always wanted to see Carnage on screen, but that's not going to happen because I think Sony still has the right.
You'd have to go with the symbiote.
They're not gonna give us a rated R Carnage movie, which is the only way.
He wouldn't even have to be. I mean, honestly, I feel like they could still pull it off.
I think that they would give us a rated R Carnage movie, but I think it would have to be well after they introduced the symbiotes in the first place.
It'll be 10 years from now.
Come right off the bat. He was like,
it'll be the last Tom Holland movie. As he retire.
Well, wait. Let's save that for a different episode because I did want to talk about rated R movies in the future of it. But anyway, yeah, I think we should save that for another episode. What's your rating, Tina, on the movie?
Overall, I mean, I believe in whole numbers unless I'm on the fence. So I would say a 9. Solid.
Yeah.
9. I mean, I would go 10. But I mean, there was just like a few tiny things that I think they probably could have smoothed out a little bit better. But I mean, that's just because they were trying to, please the masses. So that's really not their fault. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna give it a 10. This will be my first 10.
There you go. I think it deserves it.
My 9 was only because the little things that he should have had from the beginning, because he did have it from the beginning, even if he didn't know how to, control it well, was missing. Like his spider sense and also his insane amount of strength.
Fair enough.
Because his whole point is, like, he pulls his punches a lot against people because he can actually rip people apart. So,
yeah.
And they didn't have him struggling with his strength, like, at all. And that was, like, a main thing when he first got his powers, is he struggled with it.
Oh, controlling it, holding it back. I can see that. I mean, I get your
Oh
point.
yeah, because that whole wrestling match, you damn near killed that dude, but that's another story.
Yeah. All right, John,
Yeah.
what was yours?
I'll give it a 10. From the most casual viewer standpoint, I'll definitely give it a 10. Because I enjoyed the movie. I didn't even realize it was 2 hours long. I never checked the runtime for that movie.
And really,
So I was pretty into it the whole time.
I think that's what's important. Someone who, has no deep knowledge about a movie can go in and enjoy it as much as the people that follow it straight to the core.
Right. So I know enough about the Spider-Man universe, but not enough to where I'm nitpicking at everything. So I definitely give it a 10.
Very nice. It's fair.
I'm interested to see what everybody else feels on it. So definitely feel free to comment on either this post, I think, on our Facebook page or even in our forum on our website, because we will definitely be keeping an eye out on both of those.
And our overall rating, just so everybody knows, is about a 9.625 because of Steven's bum ass 0.5.
It's a 0.5. I didn't go home and obsess over it, so I took a point off. I wanted to give it a 10, but if I'm not wanting to go see it in the theaters again, I'm not going to give it a 10.
I mean, I saw it in IMAX. I'll probably see it again in theaters. I'm not gonna lie, but it's also cheap to see movies here. I
wouldn't mind seeing it again to see if I catch anything I didn't see, because I was pretty into it. So, I'm really I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I'm really happy that Vulture turned out really good. Even the tech in his suit and how they made everything. I'm really happy about. Yeah. Fucking Karen.
I just like Vulture's suit. I was so offended with the other two movies, villains. I hated the.
Oh god.
I don't know which Goblin I hated more. I think I hated the more recent one with Andrew Garfield more. It just looked so bad to me, and the actor is great. So that was just their fucking special effects.
They did a good job with selection of actor and how they decided to make his suit and the tech work, because after the whole Eddie Brock thing, I was pretty fucking upset about that.
I didn't mind Eddie Brock at all. I didn't
bullshit.
Like the big stupid goblin helmet from the first movie, where he was witty and talking, very great role, for the actor. I forget the name off the top of his head. But the helmet just took away a lot for me. It just looked stupid. I was like, dude, that's not believable. Nobody would sit down and make this big dumbass goblin helmet. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't be a thing. So
I did. Next episode, most offensive live action villain that we've seen to date through the Marvel and even DC comic. I mean, we haven't had too many DC movies, but still.
Dude, we're not about to disgrace Spider-Man Homecoming by mentioning any fucking DC movie tonight. You hear me?
I'm talking about
unless it's Wonder Woman. But that's it.
You're getting them upset.
Right? Anyway, I'm cool with that. We have our rating. We talked about it. I enjoyed the movie. I hope everybody else did as well. Let us know your thoughts and feelings on it.
Yeah, Facebook.com/Body Snatchers Podcast for Facebook. But find all that on the website, bodysnatchers.com. So does anyone have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Someone want to call me a name before we get off or something?
You a bitch, Steven.
She sounded like a small boy from Queens when she said that.
All right. On that note, for Gia, John, Tino, and Steve, see you later. Tell someone you love them. Bye.